Okay, great. So welcome everybody. I just wanted to just touch base with you and kind of go through everything with the circle of trust. The circle of trust is one of those that is a huge, huge lesson I know that I've learned in my life. It has been so huge that once you realize what your energy is, when you know what's yours and what's not, it's a big, big thing. And not only that, it's really important because today is a new moon, which the energies are so fabulous. It's all about letting go and illuminating and just allowing your full freedom and releasing whatever doesn't serve you anymore to be more at home within your body. So I'm going to go through a little bit about what we are going to learn. So what we're going to learn today is we're going to have, my slides. This is so much fun. I love doing presentations, but it's almost like there's so much going on. So little gems that we're going to take away today are what the circle of trust is, why it's important, and the physical signs that you have within your body, the emotional signs, how to ask better questions to connect better. There's 3 simple ways that you can start applying today to regain your energy in your everyday practical life. And that's what the most important thing is this is really practical. You can identify all the time wasters as well as how to support your BFF. I'm going to go more into detail with that. Your BFF is actually probably not who you think it is, but you're going to discover that today. And then Lionsgate. Lionsgate energy is just so supportive of this and the infinity of just all of the beautiful gloriousness of this. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you a new program that I've created for everybody to really connect deeper. So yeah, I feel like for those of you who don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. For most of the people who are on here, it's people who I've read for or who I've worked with for a few months, or I've done readings on. So my name is Amy Contreras, and I'm an intuitive psychic medium. I'm a wife, I'm a newlywed of a month, and a fur mom to 2 really crazy British short hair cats. And we reside here in Carlsbad, California, which is also very new. I'm a daughter of a psychic, and I have had a great teacher all of my life. I never imagined that I was going to follow this in ever, but it was not until my callings got so loud that I heard the voice, it's time to go, that I took that step. I quit my job and I moved forward. I'll kind of go into a little bit more depth with that. And yeah, when it was pushing me to really step out of my comfort zone and step into what I was really being called to do. But my clients range in so many different ways, to beautiful artists, new mothers, high-level corporate superstars, attorneys, nurses, and just philosophers of the mind and body. Really, that is, a life learner who is just so curious about life. That is really been my clientele. And for the last 4 years, 5 years, excuse me. So for the last 5 years, I've been doing group readings, coaching, live seminars in Boise, retreats, and one-on-one coaching that facilitates people all over the world who can connect really with their gifts and find that deeper, solid boundary within their energy, because it's all about the energy, really. So I've given over hundreds of psychic readings professionally to guide people through their blocks and then within their body. So that has been just tried and true with the frequency. I am obsessed about frequency, that I even gave a science report or science project when I was really young about frequency, and I couldn't even say the word. I would always say frequency. So I've just connected with frequency all of my life. But I am a trained holistic weight loss specialist, and have been guiding women through and men to tune into their bodies intuitively through nutrition. But, how does that all connect? And that all connects through energy. We have the right to choose our energy, whether we are putting something in our mouth or whether we're choosing the people which is in our circle of trust. So that is the most important thing that you really can identify and take away from this, because this is who you are, and who you connect with can really speak just a broadcast of amazing energy that you bring towards you. So there's so many gems in here, but really why I created this webinar was I feel like strongly, very much, that if we separate ourselves from other people's energies and stop feeling responsible for being these energy mothers or healers of others, like, oh, I have to heal this person, and we just allow ourselves to give ourselves permission to dismiss the energy that no longer serves us, which can be hard. I get it. I mean, these people that don't serve us can be our closest friends and family. And that's where, if we no longer create the energy and dismiss the energy that we're taking on, then we're able to create this circle of trust and protection that really is that number one enforcer of our power, where we take all of our power back and we allow our gifts to grow effortlessly. When I say effortlessly, I mean beyond effortless, where you're just like, yes, no, and you communicate with yourself physically and your spiritual body to connect to source energy within ourselves, so that we no longer feel the need to multitask, because we're pulled in so many different ways that a lot of times we just think, oh, we're just going to do it ourselves. We're going to do it ourselves, and it's no big deal. And the more we do, the more we find value in ourselves, the more energy we put out, and the more exhausted you get. So that's kind of like a time waster right there. And if you can point the time wasters out, you'll stop doing them, and you'll say, no, I don't consent to this. And you'll hear me say that a lot. So it's one of those things that, if you can see it just like energy you're choosing to put in your mouth, oh, how is this going to fuel my body? How is this going to fuel my soul? Then you also get to choose and pick those people who also nourish you and fill up your soul. So here's the thing. Our whole nucleus and molecule system is what you're letting into the circle of trust that doesn't feel safe. So how many times, and I can raise my hand a bazillion times, how many times I let that energy in, whether it's dating somebody or what, that was a big one, dating somebody that I don't really feel energetically safe with, or friends that I give so much energy to that is just really not, it's just not serving. So really this strong nucleus is made of the protons and neutrons that hold together this strong force and bond. And these cells run all through our body and are literally holding our energetic field for spirit information. So the high frequency and low frequency doesn't have anything to do with worthiness, because when you come into this world, you have millions of cells within you, and it's shifting and altering your frequency really to receive amongst your circle of trust. So that has nothing to do with worthiness at all. It's just shifting and raising and and illuminating everything. And the energetic exchange that you share holds that blueprint for your future. And our circle of trust holds the energy of lifetimes, because our DNA remembers energy. That it's so important to learn how to tap into these easy steps. Now, excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink. Our energy never dies. Excuse me. Our energy never dies. So imagine that you plug in a TV, and when you plug in your TV and you plug it, you take the plug out, you still hear the energy. It never dies. It just needs something to plug into, which if there is people who don't serve your highest greater good, they're just plugging into you, which therefore you feel those pulls and you're like questioning all of your energy. Whose energy is this? Why do I feel so confused? And why do I feel drained now? And I'm sure if in the comments, if you can put how many times you, without even knowing it, have plugged into somebody else, either out of being this like life learner and humanitarian wanting to know how people tick, or how many times have you just wanted to like help somebody? I can help bring you peace. And you can't do that at all. You have to be a human being, not a human doer. But I would love to see some hands, or even yes, or that's me, or something in the, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. I can raise my hand so many times, so many times, that's me. So yeah, you're tapped into other people's energy, but really learning to normalize and being in control and feeling safe within your energies will open up doors to synchronize with other energy naturally. And what I mean by that is really just opening yourself to identify all of the information coming in when you're getting all those downloads, instead of dismissing it, saying, oh yeah, that, oh, that's weird. I was just asking for change. And then all these doors and opportunities come, or you see 555, or something is playing on the radio. And those are synchronicities that are coming through that we're just dismissing. So I can raise my hand for dismissing so many things that I just push it down. But this means that you're opening yourself up. And the more clear you are, the less that you are dismissing, and the more settled that you feel in your own energies. But yeah, being tapped into your own source energy and making that a goal where you're just so committed, then this is making you second guess things that you're going, oh, wait, no, I didn't. Should I? And then you go, no. Then you have that authority where you're going, okay, no, I'm tapped into my body and I'm creating that circle of trust. I'm just going to move forward with these steps. You'll be completely in the clear. You won't feel stuck in your energy, and you'll say yes to yourself first, which is really important. Like saying yes, 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 yes to me instead of others is the most important. And that helps you to reserve your energy in every possible way. But when you get out of your own way and you do say yes, and you're clearing the path of least resistance, you receive the information so quickly. And you get these direct messages from spirit and you're like, oh my gosh, that was very clear. So when you're thinking, oh, wait a minute, this is clear. I didn't realize it was that easy. And it's every day. It doesn't have to be super woo-woo. I always said, gosh, I don't want it to be woo-woo. And that's the thing that helped me, or actually made me close my spiritual closet, because it was very practical for me. It was a natural thing. Having a mother that was psychic, and I know that I rolled my eyes millions of times at, oh, it's the energy, but it really was. She was just telling me in simple terms, and maybe I just didn't hear it, and those weren't my words at the time, but eventually I got it, and so will you. So if you want to learn more about this and getting in touch with your spirit, team, that's something I'll share at the end of this masterclass, exactly how you can connect deeper. But see the blocks of what you're consenting to and being more conscious to the energy instead of being exhausted by the things that you feel resistant to or that don't serve your highest greater good. Those can be the most simplest, subtle energies. And sometimes they come in faint because the people that you trust, you feel, oh, but I feel they're family. They're family. They trust. I have to trust them. I'm just going to say this. Sometimes those are the people we need to energetically create a boundary for the most, because they think just because they're family, they don't need boundaries. So as soon as you can see the patterns, you see it quickly, because everything connects. And when you're showing up for yourself and you're emotionally and spiritually available for yourself, then you're going to be able to say no. You're going to say no right away. And it may take a little bit of time. It takes time. It's not something that like all of a sudden it happens. You start to say it internally and then you start to say it out loud and it feels good and you feel empowered. But, there's a few reasons why you're probably not being able to connect either. And that's because you're in fight or flight. When you're in this fight or flight, it's impossible to hold space for others in a healthy way because you're always running and always avoiding. So I'm sure, let me see a raise of hands on how many people who know they're in the fight or flight right now, where they're always just running. And let me share with you a little bit about, when you're always running. So I'm just going to go through. And I want to just be a beacon of light for you, for those of you who are just feeling like you're completely running. That subsides too. When you start to make that step into moving forward, it's no longer that alarm, which there's 3 stages: that alarm, the resistance, and exhaustion. So let me see a raise of hands on who is to the point of you resist everything around you just to say like, stop, because it's your body actually telling you, hey, you know what? It's not that you're being like bullheaded or anything. It's that you're just going, okay, I need to stop. Like your body is actually telling you and giving you those physical signs. Like I need to pause. And then who is at their ultimate exhaustion stage, where they're emotional, physical, and just completely just spiritually spent. You're spent. Let's see a raise of hands. Spiritually spent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Spiritually spent. And all you know is that you're tired. There's not even, you probably just can't even put your finger on it, right? So these things occur when stressful. I mean, they can be stress of just, you're not listening. Spirit is trying to knock on your door and your spiritual closet is so closed, or it's being pulled open and you're still like, no. And really, like, you're saying yes to yourself, but you're still having that resistance. You get to look at what you are resisting here. So the physical signs are just this heaviness in the chest, and you have this increased heart rate, and maybe you've got this kind of monkey on your back. It feels like there's something hanging. You've got neck, back pain, physical aches and pains, all of these headaches or pressure in your sinuses. Maybe you're grinding your teeth or clenching your jaw, shortness of breath. Whenever you hold your breath, this is a big one. And I want to see a raise of hands who do this. When you hold your breath, when somebody texts you, Okay, raise your hand because I'm going to kind of give you, I'm going to give you just one real quick way. So if you, okay, I saw one person. Okay, so if you're holding your breath, okay, you might not even actually know that you're doing this, and that's okay. Pay attention this week. I'm going to give you all homework. So this week, pay attention to if you get kind of like where you have that breath or you hold your breath or you find yourself kind of, we do these things when we don't even know it, which is funny. I would hold my breath when I'd get my mail because I was overstimulated by paper and receipts. If I have too many receipts in my purse, I get overwhelmed. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, there's something I need to work through energetically. So it's your body telling you need to cleanse and clear and say no to whatever that is and find out where that came from. But it's leaving you on this short fuse with people and energetically, that's not yours unless it's a cyclical pattern that you need to take care of. But we're able to make a blueprint of your life. And you can lay all of that down and see everything in front of you. Can you imagine what that would feel like if you had all of the tools and a formula to stop those things and break them consciously and intentionally? Did you all get that action guide? And if you didn't, that's fine. It's probably in your email. It was sent out. But if you go to the action guide of the Circle of Trust, we're going to kind of go into, let's see. We're going to identify some of the non-supportive energy. So even if you don't have that and you have a pen and paper, go ahead and draw yourself a circle. And draw yourself a circle and put in there, where are you showing up for yourself? Are you emotionally and spiritually available for yourself? If you're not, then why? Where do you support your own energy? Or are you exhausted all the time? Like we talked about before, I saw some hands about being spiritually spent, emotionally, energetically, mentally. What is it that you need right now? This is such a great question. This is a great question, you guys. Be very, very in the mindset of asking yourself questions.
That. Could you try again?
I apologize. My watch started talking to me. So be in the mindset of asking really good questions. What is it that you need right now? Start asking yourself in-depth questions and see what they have to offer. Like, there have been times where I didn't have anything to offer anybody because I was done. I couldn't even talk to the person at the grocery store because I was mentally shot. Ask yourself, what is it that you need? And sometimes you're going to hear a voice, you'll see pictures, something will come on the radio, or you might hear something. I mean, synchronicities are everywhere too. And maybe you just hear, I need to spend time in nature. And that's all you need. Maybe you need to go lay in the grass or get horizontal. That's the best way to pause too, is if you just lay down, pause and lay down. I remember years ago when I was in fight or flight, and I was always in fight or flight. It was impossible for me to really connect with friends. I threw myself into the gym, and that was the only place I was showing up for myself. My friends who had kids would ask me to come over, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't nurture them or support their needs emotionally. And, while they were going through some major changes, I couldn't be there for myself because I was going through so much. I was questioning so many things. I was in my spiritual closet trying to like push all the things down that I couldn't feel or be really like tangible explanations, that it just made me feel more and more. I was called crazy Amy at times, and that kind of stung in a way, but it really didn't. And I would say that I'd scared people because I would say things that were very true, very, very true, or things that I would see and they'd be like, how does she know that? Um, in return, I felt like this need to turn that down, to dim it, to push it down, because I just couldn't explain where I got the information at all. And I'm just saying, do you see the pattern here? I'm sure there's so many things you can't explain. And because it's not a tangible thing, and probably because you're an analytical overthinker, humanitarian life learner, you want to know, right? And it was really tough. I couldn't express myself. I couldn't feel, but really the more you love and nourish your own energy, the more you'll have to share. And it's because your cup is full and nourished, you're able to cope and express the things that you need and the others around you. And when you're not pushing your inner guidance away, which, by the way, I want to make a very important statement here. The people who you scare away by any means of saying intuitive things weren't really in your realm of trust. They're not in your circle of trust. There was people who I didn't value, but yet I was still trying to dim my light for them. And I gave them so much of my energy, but they were never in my circle of trust to begin with. And now I've come to realize that now, and this is why I want to save you all time and energy to show you how to take your level of knowing all the things that you know with each of these tools to find your own patterns quicker, quicker and quickly, like I found mine. So how do you do that? We ask ourselves questions, okay? So it's being your own best friend and checking in like you would with your bestie. As an Aquarius, it is my nature to ask so many questions. I ask people questions out of curiosity, but when I started to connect with myself, I felt less crazy and more connected and grounded with my whole being, because I essentially became my best friend. And when you become your best friend, it's like you support yourself to the fullest. And I'd be like, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on? What's happening? And when I started to ask those questions, it felt good. It's like I was there to support myself. I was there to say, hey, what do you need? And I was like this best friend yet tour guide through life. It's like, where do you want to go? What do you need? How many of you talk to yourself like that? I want to see hands, because most likely, all right, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. And I've got a lot of intuitive people on here that are pros. Love that. Yeah, when you're feeling really that crazy feeling of being overstimulated and ungrounded, where I was over the top emotional that I would just cry out of frustration. How many people have or are at that moment where they're crying out of frustration because you don't know how to express yourself? Huge. This is a huge one. Like, you're so happy, you're happy, sad, frustrated, and you're just like, okay, this is just crying. That's your emotional guides just guiding you. So it's not only about finding your circle of trust, it's about being in your circle of trust. In that circle, I want each and every one of you to put you in that. Put every person who's on this call, put your name in there. as you are your supporter. You are your number one superstar, and you're your best friend. That is finding your circle of trust and making that a pivotal blueprint of your own energy. But also it's being fully comfortable being a human being without being a human doer. And so now, who are you enabling from doing things on their own? Who are you multitasking? Who are you taking all the, oh, I'll do it. I am so guilty of that. And I will say that, like, I'm not trying to take anybody's power away by any means. I'm just trying to help them so that they don't have to exert the energy. But in return, a lot of times it exerts my energy way too much that it takes my reserve. So as a beautiful human, your soul's purpose is to live in your own body and be the best gatekeeper of your own energy. So it's becoming aware of what is pushing away and calling you to rise. This is the first step to illuminating. So let's deep dive into that action guide. If you want to start with the action guide and you have the 3 circles, let's get started on that. So in the middle, you're going to have this, let's see, I'll go to that next. In the middle, you're going to put your name in there. Okay, so these are the people who you don't judge, who are your main supporters, who don't judge you. You are your ride or die people. These are your just besties, like love, support, just effortless energy. And that effortless energy is just, it feels so good. There's probably only going to be like 1 or 2 people, 3 I mean, you're not going to have a ton of people in here. And don't put those people in here like, oh, I have to put my husband or my wife. Don't do that. So we're going to have a space for them, but don't feel bad. Like, take up space. This is about the people who are your number ones, who are your besties. You're going to call them. They're going to call you. Just identify that glorious energy. So in the second circle, not the middle, but the second, those are going to be the people who they judge you a little bit. You love them so much, but they're a little demanding, they're a little needy, a little negative, passive aggressive, and a little unaware. And they like to go across that line a lot. They come in forms of husbands, parents, friends, coworkers. Sometimes, like if you've got, the really great coworker, but there's no rules. There's no book anywhere saying that families have to be, responded to in seconds or right away. But yeah, I mean, the third layer is going to be a doozy, and those are the people who are vampires. They're just, they get all of you. They just are life suckers. So what energy are you consenting to with these people? They don't communicate well at all, but they're in your realm. They're in your realm, and they're in your family, friends. They might be neighbors. They might be anybody, but they are people who don't communicate well, and they kind of guilt trip you. They love to gossip. They love to manipulate, dump their stuff, overshare, and they kind of make you feel uncomfortable, even if they think like this is okay. They're oversharers, and you're like, no, I'm not good with that. And they're negative. They're super, super negative, and they try to get you involved. Always trying to get you involved. So they just suck the living daylights out of you, of your energy. But, energetically, the first layer, you're a golden peach together. I mean, you're just like 2 peas in a pod. You communicate your needs, your boundaries, and energy. It feels so good. Oh, this feels so good inside your circle of trust. You feel supported and loved and just nourished. The second layer is you may overgive. Maybe it's just because it's easier, but you need to pause to respond. So if these people text you, don't feel the need to text them right away, but really just wait. Wait until you don't have an emotional response. If you're rolling your eyes, or if you're like, your sounds, these are big ones too. So I'm going to show you a few different ways as well to understand the physical and mental abilities that you're not noticing too. But the third layer, you are going to want to wait to respond at all cost. Set better boundaries to protect your own energy before interacting. And that's okay. That's okay. I want to say this very loud and clear. You do not have to respond to people who give you anything. Listen to me, anything other than joy, support, and happiness. Nothing more. You do not need to respond to that. Waiting to respond is really this act of love that you can give to yourself, and you will always regain your energy and call back your power in the pause. There is so much power in the pause. When you say power in the pause, you can actually feel it detaching. So to understand your soul path, really, you just need to let go of everything you thought you knew to be true, to discover everything you've always known, where your soul is pulling you towards. Okay, so here are some 3 simple ways to really move past those feelings and all the energy that you're not really sure of. Okay. So one is body scan. Again, it's asking really great questions to yourself as if you are your own best friend, which you are. And the way you can do that is to simply just put your hand over your heart and just say, how are you doing? You can even be like Joey from Friends. How you doing? I mean, really get into that if you're a Friends fan, but really just ask yourself, ask your heart. Your heart will never lie to you. And really just pause and ask yourself, what do I need? If you feel the need to push or you have any resistance in your feelings, then that's a sure tell sign. If you're overly exhausted and somebody's like, oh, well, I've invited you to this birthday party, I think that you should go, or I really want you to go, and there's that guilt. Oh my gosh, I want to please this person so much, but I just don't physically have it. You get to ask yourself, like I'll always say, Amy, how am I doing right now? How are you doing? Like, girlfriend, what's up? And I'll be honest with myself. Feel like I'm tired. And well, why? Why are you tired? Have a full inner monologue with yourself that just feels super unnatural, but yet natural all in the same time. And if I feel like, oh, I'm super ungrounded right now, or if you don't even know those words, if you're like, I feel a little frazzled, I feel overstimulated. That's my word, actually. My overstimulated word is just like, I can't breathe. I'm doing too much. Okay, well, what do I need? What do I need to do? I need to get grounded. So seeing when you're stuck in those energies, always go back to the basics. Always go back to getting grounded. You can never be too grounded in order to understand what your energies are, because when you understand where your energy is, like, oh, I need a ground. Okay, so once you ground, you see the pattern and you're able to detach. You're like, oh, wow, okay, well, I just realized I need to be in my own protective bubble now. So we get to really dive deep into that, into connecting with ourselves in the program that I'm going to share with you at the end. It's a course of 12 weeks, but we really go into that feeling in different ways that's going to be keys for you so that you can really hold space for yourself. Again, this is not about what just works for me. It's giving you the tools and finding Step 2 is finding the awareness to take up space. I want to see a raise of hands. How many people feel like it's hard to take up space? And taking up space in the room, or being that person who is, oh gosh, I'm not sure. I'll let somebody else do it. Really, not that many people taking up space. So that's a good thing. I mean, everybody who, okay, so I see a little bit more, see a few more hands. That's good. We all do it in certain times in our life where we're like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to stand back. I'm going to wait. I'm going to pause. I'm going to let this person shine. I'm going to, I'll be the person in the background. Well, what energy are you consenting to? Allow yourself to feel safe to take up space emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Are you taking it on as your own? Like, are you allowing yourself to take on the energies to heal it, or to be a person to heal it or mother it? Like, oh gosh, I've got to help mother somebody else's energies because they're not doing too good, or they're bummed out or something. No, just feel safe in being, okay, you know what? I'm going to give them space. I'm going to hold space so that they can do their own energy. They can feel their own way. They can communicate with themselves their own way. And I'm going to be honest with myself that I'm choosing me first to hold space and communicate honestly internally to create that awareness that that's a trigger for me, and you can realize that there are certain triggers that are going to spiral you, make you feel frazzled, ungrounded, because your body has the most intelligence, amazing intelligence, actually, that you'll find yourself pulling or pushing against something, eye rolling, or just making a sound. I mean, the sounds that we make physically is really just, you're going to go, or, oh, even if you say that now, it stops you, or, oh, you move forward. Anything that sounds that make you push back or move forward, they're signs of the body's intelligence, just really saying, hey, you know what? I'm not consenting to this. I don't like this. And the third step really is just to lead with love. When you lead with love, it's a connection to your divine, highest, greater good and the source of universal energy. And it's not fear. It's not the ego. It's not anything. It's not anything that is just, out of fear. Oh, I should like this person, or they're not going to like me, or they're going to leave me, like that feeling of abandonment. You can just say, I am an amazing person, and I know that if this person serves my highest, greater good, they're going to be in my life and they're going to support me. So learning to be aware of that. We get to consent to two things in our life, love or fear. You can even ask yourself too, is this energy of love? Is this coming from a space? And am I the toxic equation? If you're the toxic equation, then you need to reprocess like what you're doing, and figure out where it's coming from and how to stop that process there. A simple shift to both saying, I do not consent to this and I choose love are such power statements. And you can just stop it right there. I do not consent to this energy. If you're at the grocery store and you have this clerk who's just having a bad day and you go away and you're like, ugh, I feel yucky after this interaction, that's you taking it on. So to stop it, you go, I do not consent to this energy. I choose love. That will shift your energy in the equation so fast, because otherwise you go to the grocery store, this guy or woman is very toxic. You go, ugh, it creates a bad cyclical way when you get home, cycle and pattern that you trickle down to the people who are in your family, and you just have a bad day. And you're like, I don't know why I'm in a crummy mood. Well, if you stop it right before it happens, then it just stops it right there, and it stops the pattern, and it stops everything. So, your body is the most beautiful compass here, and you are not powerless. I want you to know that from just the bottom of my heart. I want you to hear that you are never powerless, ever, ever. So the physical triggers, again, can be clenched fist, nodded head, or nodded head this way. You can hold your breath when somebody texts you. It could be that you find yourself pushing or pulling towards something. Even in pictures, you can see if you are of somebody's energy, the highest, greater good, you could see if your head's towards them or away from them. That's always kind of a fun thing. So you can look back at your pictures with other people, see, oh, am I vibing them or not? But yeah, if you feel anxious or sick to your stomach and you're paralyzed with that fear when you're around people or going places and not feeling safe or at peace, but you end up doing it anyways just to appease people, but you don't want to make a big deal over it because you don't want to be a pain or nuisance, or, you're overdoing, really. That's just overdoing things and saying yes when you really want to say no, thank you. You can really stop that too. And just get grounded before, so you don't have to feel like you've been emotionally assaulted or verbally assaulted with the energy, or you don't have to verbally assault others. It's getting grounded and just wait to respond until you know the power in the pause. Remember that power in the pause is everything. You could practice that for the next week, and it's powerful. When you pause, you are asking yourself in that moment, how am I doing? Do I like this energy? How do I feel about this person? How do I feel around this person? It's not what you think. It's not what do I think about this person, is how do I feel? Like, do I feel joy, happiness, and just this illumination? No? Okay, what are we going to do about this? Because that emotional trigger is just going to get the tears just going. It's going to be, you're getting in control of your tears. And yes, emotional pause. I saw in the comments. So when you are getting in control of these emotional triggers, it's a huge time saver, because then if you react emotionally and you're spiraling, and believe it or not, more drama is happening. You're creating this like intense energy, just suck for yourself. And if you wait to respond, to save that time and energy, it's like your internal eco lightsaber. You're just like, I have all this time and energy to myself now that I never imagined that I had. There's so many times your body is picking up a vibe. Like everybody is literally this compass. And if you listen to it as if you are your own best friend, you will understand that this is a fantastic way to go. So, true story, I'll never forget that I was working in a natural market when I was 18 years old, and spirit was knocking at my closed door, really, so hard that I didn't understand what was going on. There was a coworker that I just didn't vibe with. He made my skin crawl. My hair at the back of my neck would just stand up. And I could feel this kid. I'm young. I'm really young, and I didn't understand all of this stuff. And so I could feel this kid driving a few blocks away and count to the seconds that he would walk through the door. I would get chicken skin. And if he were behind me, I could hear his thoughts. He was a bully to others. He stole money from the store, and he was just an absolute manipulator. So I remember looking at the clock, and it would be like 1:11, right? And ringing somebody up, and it would be $5.55, like $5.55. So many synchronicities. And then on the radio, something was playing as he opened up the door. Liar, liar, pants on fire. And This is my intuition giving me physical, mental, emotional, spiritual signs. I would hear, stay away from him. I didn't trust him at all, but yet I dismissed it and then spent hours analytically trying to figure out, why would he do this? Why is his, what is going on in his life? And literally I would be in my mind just trying to figure him out. And I found myself over appeasing this dude because he energetically, so I wouldn't be energetically bullied, and he would energetically bully everybody and not make a big deal of it. So then I found myself in the cooler with the veggies trying to escape him, because I was so ungrounded and frazzled that I would spend so much time even when I went home. So just trying to ground myself and be connected, because this guy just really, I didn't vibe with him. So raise of hands, how many people can you relate to somebody who you dismissed, but you really didn't vibe to? And you may even have dated them. I will raise my hand to that. But yes, yes, yes. So throughout my life, I've seen these patterns happen over and over. And until I opened that closet and chose to say yes to the callings, to what I've learned in Earth School, I've incorporated in my course, and to show you how to take back your power to live a high level, just high level, spiritually conscious life in a practical day to day. So you can stop situations before they happen in the monotonous activities too. And by pausing, by one, pausing, and two, asking questions. If you're consenting to this and leading, am I leading with fear or love? I'm going to choose love, and to see the triggers before it starts to leak, right? But wouldn't it feel amazing if you were so tapped into your body that you became uber aware of your physical triggers, and then you started to resist, before you started to have a resist reaction? But seeing the patterns really is where, when you get stuck, and seeing the blueprint to your soul, when my clients and I sit together and we map out the blueprint to their patterns, someone will open up and talk about 3 different subjects, say, I don't even know why I just told you that, Amy, but there's always a pattern of synchronicities, and spirit is guiding you to recognize where you're trapped. And here's how you can self-discover on your own, because there's always a default pattern to dismiss or ignore. So you can see it a lot quicker. But when you ignore your own energetic feeling, if you're feeling trapped into something else, this, hopefully at the end, you'll see the patterns quicker, just way quicker. You can identify it, like, oh, wait, here, and then have that intuitive win. And those intuitive wins are really important. But at the end of this webinar, I will share with you a few ways we can deep dive into some of those patterns with a community of like-minded individuals, just to see how you can be seen and heard when identifying with these patterns that you may find that you're ignoring. And, with the times being the way they are, with not being able to connect with people face to face with the pandemic and everything, it's been, I know, also an added I would say, stress that we're not really aware of, that when you come together with a group of people that are in sync with each other, there's so many synchronicities, even with that, with life stories. But if you are just ignoring your spiritual closet door from opening, you're really just avoiding speaking because you're worried about your situations getting worse or being abandoned. But I really want to tell you that your spirit team will never abandon you, ever, 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 ever. You're never going to be abandoned whatsoever. They're always there for you. And creating a relationship with yourself is really just knowing your worth and breaking the cycles to family karma. And that will help you thrive into this vibrant and beautiful, radiant energy centers that will guide you to you can speak your truth. but dismiss a feeling, a gut feeling or intuition, or places on hold for a good time to feel like, oh, when the energies close or calm down, I'll say something, or I'll follow my gut feeling. But really, it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger and crazier, and you start to fester. I want to hear, raise your hand if you've ever had a thought fester so big that it got out of control. And yeah, all right. I love it. Same, I'm gonna raise my hand. Just because you just get into that analytical feeling and you're not present. But really, if it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, just getting into your body and grounding will really bring you to the present moment. And yes, 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 I love that. I love when the chat lights up. But yeah, wouldn't it feel, would you like to feel confident and have absolute trust and in your intuitive feelings and decisions? I mean, wouldn't you like to feel confident in that? Raise your hand. Yes. Like, would you like to feel confident in that? Let's see hands, 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 hands. All right. Yes. Your energy is precious and valuable. Use it wisely. That's the biggest and most boldest statement. Your time is precious. Your energy is precious. I'm just going to go. So now look. Oop. Yeah, how often, I want to see in hands, how often have you dismissed your synchronicities or questioned synchronicities? Like, oh, is that a synchronicity? Oh no, that probably wasn't it. No, that can't be, because you think, oh, it's got to be harder. How many people think it has to be harder too? Like spirituality in general needs to be harder. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. How many people have a hard time speaking up? Raise your hand. And how many people have dismissed your gut feelings? Raise your hand. So many times, yes. And I will raise my hand because I have even dismissed my gut feeling and thought, I should have done that. I knew they were going to say that. I knew that was going to happen. And this is a journey. This is a long time journey. We are constantly unfolding and learning new things. So this is what is so important, is to not waste your precious time. The precious time that you have is, I mean, we are given only a certain amount of time, right? But precious time, voicing your opinions. This big one is if feeling guilty for voicing your opinions, making it your fault because you feel selfish, for taking care of your own energies. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you've ever felt that. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. It's like going on an airplane. You have to take care of yourself with a mask before you can take care of everyone around you so that you live, right? But not being aware of the time wasters zaps your energy, and it leaves you just feeling and not processing your energy and feeling just low within your frequency. So the key is to be the most observant hall monitor to yourself that you possibly can. And this is all from the state of the highest greater good of love. You are the hall monitor of love to yourself. So when in doubt, scan your body a few times. How do I feel? Am I in my own energies? Your emotional intelligence in this way is going to feel more clear, and you are going to process. So those are the three things that we learned this whole time. I'm going to keep repeating it. So let's do a little exercise to raise our vibrations. And we're just going to say the ah sound. So we're going to get ready to do a little Lionsgate meditation. And I know that we're running over a little bit as we waited for some people to join on. But as we prepare to do Lionsgate, little meditation, we're going to just do a little bit of a meditation. So the ah sound, ah. So bring it in, and you can say it to yourself, but just really get into that emotional and ah. So however long it takes, that helps you get to your emotional body to release any trapped energy in your lower body and your gut intuition. So through your gut intuition, humming or however you clear your throat is going to help you speak your truth. This is going to strengthen your self-observation so you can regain your energy at any time in your body to feel the sensations instantly and communicate spiritually with what you need to stop a pattern. So those are two more things that you can do when you are trying to step forward with this. By those three things, by power of the pause, scanning your body, asking yourself a question, and am I leading with love? The thing is you're already doing it. Your spiritual path is unfolding. It's just understanding and communicating and knowing how to really deep dive into that. It's already happening for you. You've been doing the work for years. It's just now understanding what you need to do to see and hear correctly and clearly. So we're just going to really just sit with our, you can do this tonight. And Lionsgate, just to let you know, Lionsgate energy is from the 8th to the 12th. And this is a beautiful energy. This is such a powerful 8-8. If you turn it on the side, it's infinity. So the infinity sign is just this like expressive and potent and powerful just energy of, it illuminates our third eye. And it's the sun in Leo, which Leo is just this like big energy. The new moon helps with new things and your intentions. And with the sun in Leo, as well as Sirius moving closer to the earth, it's aligning with Orion's belt that syncs up to the pyramids in Giza. So in Giza, it's the pyramids, the third eye energy. And here's the thing, you don't even have to really know. Just imagine the limitless, most powerful energy that you can ever imagine. Say yes to yourself. Commit to yourself that today is the day that you move forward with your spirituality and say yes to yourself. Have that deeper connection with yourself and that innate wisdom that you have within. It's all about the Lionsgate. Just allow that heart connection to be deep, connected, and on the higher consciousness, raising, elevating from multi-dimensions, the communication to your higher self, to your physical body and your emotional and spiritual sense, your emotional, mental sense, and everything in between as a whole person. You're elevating and creating a beautiful, beautiful new energy with your intentions. So what is it that you want? Ask for what you want. Place your hand over your heart again and just feel your chest. Put your other hand over your tummy and close your eyes and inhale. Inhale through your heart and then tummy. And do this for a few times, just breathing and making your hand move, both hands. But really just as you create that, make little counterclockwise circles as you hover over your heart. You can do this about 100 times. And you can do this tonight or a few times after. And just really just feel the words as they come through. Just say, I cleanse myself of light and loving energies. all energies that no longer serve me, I invite you to leave now. I am light. I am free. I am whole. I am me. I feel cleansed and protected, and only love and light dwell in here in my sacred space now. Now feel that as you completely align with your heart, and feel the connection within your forehead and your third eye as it aligns with this beautiful light within. Now, imagine that you are just allowing your third eye to open and expand, and you say yes to yourself. Say, yes, I commit to myself and my spirituality today. That's something practical that you can do, just free flowing. And again, you don't have to do this big thing. It's spirituality is practical in everyday life, and it happens just all around us. Energy is energy, and it's never dies. Like I said with the TV, you plug it in and you're plugged in, it illuminates. When you unplug, then it just dissipates. It doesn't go away. It doesn't die. Energy never dies. Our cells are infinite. Imagine that you're an infinite soul with intention. I am intentionally going to know what I'm consenting to for this whole week, and just be committed to change now, to commit to connect deeper with yourself, and to make you a priority and say yes. I'm going to say this again. Say yes to the answers of the calls and the whispers and the synchronicities that you are getting now. There's no running from the call, because you're going to keep getting that knock even louder, and eventually so loud that you cannot escape it whatsoever. So can you imagine just feeling completely and utterly, totally centered? I can. I do. I feel amazing. I feel, now that I've answered the call to say yes. When I was, I had to answer the call in such a weird way. It doesn't ever come like, oh, here's very simple and natural and smooth. When I answered the call, I was working my corporate life. I was hearing the voices of, get ready, it's time. And I said, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to leave this cushy job where I make great money. And I don't like where the people I work with, but I can hang with what I do and I love it. They said, no, it's going to be time. So get ready. And I'm like, I don't want to listen to you. So I kept pushing it down. And I'm not kidding you. Doors were closing faster than I could resist. One day I heard, it's time, quit now. And I said, okay, I trust that this is within my highest greater good. I didn't even shower that morning. I picked up all my stuff. I didn't put on any makeup, and I had to wear a suit. I packed up all my stuff and drove it to my job and said, I'm quitting. And they were like, what? And I had no explanation, nor did I need to explain. All I knew is I knew my higher greater good for my own health too. I needed to leave. So I say that from this day, that was the best thing I ever did, was listen, because the doors opened. From there, I left. On the way home, I got a call to be a panel speaker to speak about spirituality, and something that has been so hard for me to speak about because it was too woo-woo. And I was like, I said yes. I started saying yes. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Yes Man, but I started saying yes to everything, and doors were flying open. I started understanding what my own energy was as soon as I was pulled out of a toxic one, and life unfolded. I feel so prosperous in every possible way with my soul prosperity. So I'm able to give that back by creating something that is tangible for all of you to be on the path of this opening the door, opening the portals, and say yes to yourself, say yes to your spirituality and your soul prosperity. This has been the best time of my life. I wake up every day, and I'm not saying that it's been easy by any means, but it has been the best, most expansive energy I have ever felt. And I have soared in so many ways spiritually, and I feel amazing. So I created this 12-week interactive aligned community that offers just accountability and really just to support to two things that are so crucial. And I'm going to invite you to really read about read about how it feels for you. But you can read about spirituality, but you really, this is, if you're actually ready to do the work to integrate your purpose, then this is for you. If you're not ready to do the work, then this is really just, it's not going to be for you. It's a 12-week online course that we meet weekly. So I just want to share with you just a little bit about kind of like what I'm offering. So it's 3 months, and in those 3 months, you're going to be learning to really own your worth and stay in your body and be present in your life and release family karma that's holding you back. This is all, each and every one of you is going to have your own journey, but you're going to have a spiritual running buddy, which is really great. And the month 3, let's see. So month 2, is all about understanding your intuition and developing your intuition and your supernatural gifts. So we all have these extraterrestrials, yes, and extra sensory perceptions and abilities that are very natural. So we lay the groundwork to use your intuition and how you use it, how it comes out strongest for you. And then there's fun exercises to learn how to trust it and then practice it. And we practice it daily. So this is all about practicing. And you're going to keep unfolding. It's been really fun to go through. I think I was really excited about month 3 because this is where this all unfolds. Month 3 is about creating your blueprint and really stepping into this healing to integrate and connect to your authentic self and your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are, it's like the dream team. And you discover your soul prosperity to find this guidance, and that your spirit guides and your soul really just have these life's gifts that can really unfold in everyday life. And you'll find that at the completion of the 12 weeks, that you're going to have peace that you haven't had prior. You're going to have these aha moments, these intuitive wins, and we're going to celebrate together. So you really get to learn how to integrate spiritual lessons to gain this high level of worthiness to receive your gifts. And I do say your high level worthiness. Yay. Let's see. I'm going to look at the questions as well when I'm done. So I see that there's some questions. But so this is really a big mastermind for women or men who want to grow and expand together. So this is just this is a one, yes, you'll get a one-on-one. I see some questions coming in. You'll get to have 12 weeks of spiritual mentorship and intuitive development with me. You'll have online classes and sessions together with opportunities to ask questions, many questions. You can ask all the questions. And then you have the accountability and support with your spiritual running buddy, as well as monthly content of downloads, workbooks, and checklists. But yeah, this is a tried and true process that was developed for the spiritual blueprint as just this living, breathing expression of who you are, and who you are within the home of your soul. So you're going to get early bird bonus with me as 45 minutes, a one-on-one session to interpret and validate all of the things that are going to help you feel confident on your path. And this is not going to be on Facebook. So there's a community that's available for everybody who is involved to really kind of deep dive and meet new people. So I want to invite you to check this Spiritual Blueprint website out that I've created to answer all of your questions in detail and what you'll be gaining by joining. So most of my life, I've really prided myself in being this amazing multitasker and the doer of all. But, as I've found in my past life career as an outside salesperson, I just learned that monotasking was really the driving force of when my downloads were coming to me. So I'd always be driving and lightning storm of downloads would come. So that is a real integral part, is to learn how to monotask, because there's so much time that you can spend on getting your downloads and interpreting them and hearing the voices. I'll teach you focused tools on how to gain clarity on that dimensional space of monotasking and keeping focus and consistency so that you can raise your frequency and not feel so scattered. But in this group, you'll find that even if you're a multitasker, you'll stop those cycles and you'll answer the calls and you figure out like what people's energies are that you're avoiding, and it all unfolds naturally. And they're just tools to help guide you on your blueprint. And at the end, you're going to have this wonderful feeling of feeling completely at peace and see the signs and signals. So that is what we have to offer. I do have a few questions that I received that I want to answer, and then I will answer. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I did get a question sent over. I don't want to go crazy if I start to do this work. Is this possible? So that's a great question. No, you won't get crazy, because that's actually feeling crazy is not answering the call and it's not being grounded. But if you do the work, you're really going to process that energy of, if you're thinking about something, it can fester, right? What we talked about, and it can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that crazy is that cyclical feeling and thought process in your brain that you just keep going over. But if you do the work and you bring this down into being grounded, you can really feel your center and get the messages clearly, and you'll find where they come from. They don't come from inside your head. They don't come from in here. And we'll go through that in a deep dive in this 12 weeks. But I also have a few questions. So, okay, what day is the weekly meeting? So the weekly meeting will be in different groups, and we'll set up a time with the people who have joined to make it work the best. Currently, they've been on Wednesdays at 5:30, but I've had other groups where we've done different times, because I have different time zones all over. So it has to work really with the group, and we connect to figure that out so everybody can make it. If you cannot make it a certain time or a certain week, there are replays. And I also have questions that if you are currently questioning, we can always address. And then I'll answer the question via Voxer to you personally. So it's an intimate group that we really get a deep dive into, but let's see, do we get one-on-one time with you? So yes, if you sign up early, you get a 45-minute one-on-one time with me. And that can be at any time that we schedule, and you'll have plenty of time along with me in the group. So for 12 weeks, we get time together with the group, and so it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Will you get hit by a 2x4 if you ignore the call? We are forced into our greatest. Oh no. I see this message. It's happened. All doors are closed generally when you don't, you're forced into your highest greater good. It's like all doors are closing on you, and you'll see all the doors and you're trying to hold them up. So that question is a great question. I don't think necessarily physically you're going to be hit by a 2x4, which I hope that doesn't happen, but you're definitely going to be hit with some things that you need to look at. Let's see. let's see, I saw another question. Okay, great. So this is exactly something that you're looking for. Where do you sign up? So you can sign up. I will send you out an email with a link so you can check it out. You can check out to see all that it offers. I do have some bonus points as bonus offerings as well to help you just accelerate through all of that your journey is all about. And yeah, I will send that out to you in the next few days with a link and everything to sign up. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. And this has been really beautiful. If you've had any more questions, but all I have to say is, if not with me, really just have a commitment to say yes to yourself, say yes to the calling, say yes to opening up to spirit, and just say yes, and don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the callings. Don't be afraid to say yes. Watch when you say yes, everything's going to open up. So all of your doors are going to fly open instead of, close. Your spirit team is there for you. It's there to guide you. And there's a myriad of energies coming at you daily. So to feel confident is what we really just want to feel directly and unshakably connected to the higher spirit and higher self. So thank you so much, everybody. If you have any questions later, I'm always available to send me an email, but I've really enjoyed our time together. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Have a great Sunday and happy Lionsgate and New Moon.